the types of people we hire will determine if we're successful or not. Who's our partner? Is that founder going to be the one that I want to work with, I want to be with for this whole journey? You have to understand if you believe in the same framework and the same mission. Jangan wedded to the idea, try to think about what you want to solve for customers.
Hi, I'm Italo Gani.
I'm Zahra, and you are watching Impact Talk,
where we have in-depth conversation about building and growing startups.
with the people that was there from the start. No fluff, no sparkling stuff. We dive in and tease out valuable insights and applied knowledge from our created guests,
So that you can grow your startup and build successful company that will last.
So, get ready to catch because someone is about to drop some wisdom.
This is Impact Talk by Impact 2.
This podcast is supported by Cominfo, Panasonic.
Thank you, Tess, for coming to this Impact Talk, our regular video podcast with founders. Today, kita kedatangan Tessa, the co-founders of Zendit. So, hi Tessa, how are you doing?
Hi, good. Thank you for having me. Nggak usah Bu Tessa dong, santai aja Tessa. Malu saya, kan ingin berjiwa muda.
I think, bener sih. Di dunia startup kita nggak kenal umur ya.
Betul.
So, Tess, first, I think congratulations untuk Zendit. I think di COVID kalian juga announce you guys are unicorn, so you've been growing so much the company, so congratulations you and the other founders. And mungkin boleh mungkin cerita dikit tentang apa itu Zendit biar semua all the founders bisa tahu apa itu Zendit, karena Zendit itu kan sebenarnya you guys are B2B gitu kan, nggak semua orang tahu brandnya Zendit gitu kan, you guys are B2B. Terus juga can you introduce lu juga?
Ya, can. Ya, memang kita banyak bermain di belakang layar ya, karena sebagai startup yang membantu bisnis lain, kita tidak selalu kelihatan untuk konsumen. So, what is Zendit? Zendit itu adalah perusahaan infrastruktur pembayaran. Jadi, intinya kita itu menghubungi para merchant atau pembisnis dengan bank dan juga pemain-pemain pembayaran lain seperti Visa ataupun Mastercard. So, think of us kayak perusahaan logistik yang memindahkan uang, tetapi itu semua terjadi di dunia maya. Jadi kayak ada berbagai macam truk yang memindahkan uang dari satu tempat ke tempat lainnya, tapi semua terjadi secara digital. So that's a little bit about Zendit. Kita dimulai pada tahun 2015 didirikan, telah menjadi payment gateway selama 5 tahun ini. Dan sekarang sudah mengembangkan produk-produk outside of payments only. So we do many things to be able to ensure merchants can transact online. So a little bit tentang saya sendiri. My name is Tessa. I'm co-founder and also COO di Zendit. Jadi memang waktu dulu sebelum di Zendit itu saya lebih berkecimpung di dunia tradisional. Memang sempat bekerja di bidang private equity selama 7 tahun. Sebelumnya saya sempat juga sekolah di luar negeri, memang lulusan dari Amerika. Setelah lulus kuliah, saya merasa memang sudah waktunya untuk kembali ke Indonesia, untuk doing something that's exciting for the country. And so that's where we are today, starting a startup and growing it to be unicorn that it is.
Sebenarnya kan gue udah coba banyak dengerin your podcast juga ya, sama ada Pak Gita Wirjawan segala macem gitu kan, jadi gue udah little bit tahu ya your story. Lu kan pindah ke banyak negara. Jujur di Impact 2 ini kita tuh sering banget actually scouting for early startup founders gitu kan. Dan do you think kita ngelihat banyak orang yang sekolah di luar negeri, terekspos sama mindset luar negeri itu punya more open mindset untuk doing something new seperti di startup. Itu ngebantu nggak sih Tess sebenarnya?
Ngebantu banget sih. Pertama-tama kalau kita udah pernah terekspos tinggal di luar negeri, kita bisa lihat sebenarnya what does good look like sometimes ya. Kita tuh di Indonesia orang itu kalau aku lihat sabar banget dan positif banget. terkadang hidup tuh amat sangat sulit, bukan hidup untuk cari nafkah, tapi kehidupan sehari-hari pun sulit. Contohnya kita mau bergerak dari tempat A ke tempat B, kadang bisa 1 jam, kadang bisa 2 jam, kadang bisa 3 jam. We don't know. Tapi orang Indonesia tuh sabar banget. We can accept that and that's fine. So it's important sometimes kayak kita keluar negeri, oh things can work better. We can do better in our daily life ataupun di whatever it is that we're trying to do, right, in business. So I think that exposure ya bikin kita lebih kita bisa melihat sekarang wacananya Indonesia bisa seperti apa juga. So I think that's one part that's super important. The other is I think I'm a big believer in education, dan pendidikan di luar negeri itu bukan aku bilang bahwa di Indonesia itu jelek ya, tapi aku tuh inget banget pada zaman dulu waktu zaman sekolah nih, zaman SD SMP, aku kan sekolahnya di itu private school sebenarnya tapi Tarakanita kan ya, so it's still like 55 people in a classroom, nggak kayak anak-anak zaman sekarang. And I remember there was a lot about memorizing, so rote learning by not by critical thinking. So I think going out, being exposed to different kinds of people, different methods of education, really pushed me, to be a little bit more to approach problems in a different way. Makanya lumayan, I think it's extremely valuable from my experience to be able to build Zendit to where it is today.
Dan gue tuh sering banget ketemu orang Zendit, and Zendit ini punya satu culture yang lumayan unik ya. Boleh, maksudnya kayak salah satunya tuh gue pernah ada orang di interview. Jadi kita tuh dikasih akses kayak kalau kayak mobil tuh kayak test drive dulu gitu kerja di Zendit gitu. Seharian lu dikasih tugas kalau sehari apa 2 hari gitu kan. So boleh cerita di balik that particular culture when you want to hire people ya?
Yeah, look, I think to us culture, the types of people we hire will determine if we're successful or not. Apalagi contohnya zaman pandemi kita harus bisa kerja bareng bahkan tanpa ketemu dengan atau tatap muka dengan satu sama lain. Jadi understanding that we can work together, same framework, same way of thinking, same way of approaching problem itu penting banget. Makanya I think what you're talking about itu sebenarnya tentang it's the process that we do when we try to hire. So our hiring process itu memang unik sekali. Jadi setiap kandidat we ask them to spend the day with us solving a problem together. Because sometimes mungkin resume kelihatannya oke. Kadang ada orang yang kalau di interview sebenarnya oke, tapi belum tentu cara kerjanya sama, mindsetnya sama. Jadi when they spend the day with us, it goes both ways. We get to know them, how they work, tapi they get to know us juga. Because I always say to candidates, we will not change to be like you. You need to adjust to our ways, or you need to already be like us. Same mindset, same framework. And really that's where it comes from. Makanya penting banget untuk bisa berinteraksi bersama, understand how to work together.
Yeah, that's quite unique. Gue berkali-kali sama tim selalu ngebahas, I think kita harus nyobain kayak gitu tuh. Maksudnya emang kadang cuman di interview itu nggak bisa kelihatan apa-apa, tapi kalau kerja bareng baru kita, so we need to learn from you guys more ya. Nah balik ke lu tes ya, lu kan sebenarnya agak gila ya, maksudnya lu kan karir lu udah bagus banget di PE, dulu kan di Principia segala macam, and suddenly mungkin Zendit waktu lu join kan is not like Zendit now gitu kan, kayak banyak orang kan mau join Tokopedia atau di Studio Jack, tapi kan dulunya kayak William, gue ingat ada podcast sama William pertama kali mereka buka di Binus itu karir dia itu nggak ada yang datengin boothnya dia gitu kan. Nah dan gue sering ketemu orang bisnis konsultan, teman-teman gue angkatan gue juga, mereka tuh takut banget join ke startup gitu kan. So apa yang bikin lu waktu itu nekat gitu kan dan ternyata successful gitu kan, you are choosing the right partner, the right companies gitu kan. Mungkin bisa jadi encouraging untuk para other people yang udah senior untuk join startup world ya?
Ya, sebenarnya look, sebelum Zendit dan sembari bekerja di bidang investasi, I dabbled in a lot of starting out different businesses. So during that time, pengalaman kegagalan sampai pernah bikin cafe ala-ala namanya Food Criminal. Slogannya "Food so good is a crime," but actually the food was really bad. That's why it failed. And then I started a clothing brand with my partner and everything else. Jadi memang I had an entrepreneur spirit all this time. I really did want to start my own business. In what? I mean, I was kind of dabbling in different things as you saw. Nah, pada terakhir-terakhir sebelum I joined Zendit, while I was working in private equity, I started to see, or I started to meet other people who were starting in tech. At the time, I think commerce, there were a bunch of e-commerce marketplaces doing a down round. Jadi mereka reach out to us di private equity, boleh dong cari investasi, and they walked us through. They brought us to the office, and I understood their business line. Tiba-tiba, like my mind kayak bener-bener terbuka gitu. I was like, wow, so e-commerce marketplace itu ternyata bukan cuma fashion doang, bukan tentang bajunya bagus or whatever else, tapi tentang technology, right? The algorithm of who, you know, if me, Tessa, I'm clicking on this website, what would Tessa want to see, right? And to me, that was eye-opening, which is why I said, hey, the next thing I want to do is I want to take the leap and I want to do something in tech. So when Moses, the other co-founder, he's the CEO, when he came to me and he was like, hey, what do you think about this idea of building financial infrastructure? I was sold. The way I approached it, number one, it was about, to me, I approached it like investing. Pertama-tama kita harus lihat who's our partner. Is that founder going to be the one that I want to work with, I want to be with for this whole journey? When I met Moses, I was like, wow, aligned banget. We had the same mindset. We always say it's like work, love, and first sight, you know. And then secondly, the idea of finance, that I was really sold, right? Building payments, doing something that can make a difference. I think that was extremely exciting. So that's really why Zendit. And by the way, to encourage people to join startups or start startups, at the time I was like, okay, I'm still young, baru menikah, tapi belum punya anak. I was like, this is the time to take the leap, right? If I don't take the risk now, then when? And on purpose, I said, I want to see a startup being built. I want to see the baby from the beginning, not in the middle of it. Makanya I purposely joined an early stage startup.
I see. Menarik. Dan sebenarnya salah satu pertanyaan atau challenge dari para early stage startup itu kan cari partner nih, gitu kan, susah banget gitu kan. Dan I think you coming as a co-founders earlier lah ya, gitu kan. So mungkin banyak yang nanya gimana kan tandanya waktu itu kasarnya Moses sudah ada co-founder gitu kan, and you came along and to complete the whole founders team lah. Boleh diceritain nggak sih itu gimana? Karena orang kan mikirnya klasik, gue pernah berdua gitu, ya udah gue sama berdua gitu. Terus kalau ada orang baru, kalau boleh dibocorin gitu ya, gimana sih structuring cap table-nya, skema itu masuknya gimana gitu? Is it something doable juga? Karena kan selalu partner waktu awal susah, di tengah-tengah ketemu orang lain mau ngajak lagi, itu mungkin boleh diceritain nggak praktikalnya tuh gimana?
Sebenarnya praktisnya itu cari co-founder ataupun partner yang ya selaras lah, ya untuk to partner with together. Untuk cari partner yang baik itu pertama, you have to understand if you believe in the same framework and the same mission. Itu paling penting. Kalau misalkan maksudnya framework itu how do we approach solving problems? How do we approach running a business? Kalau misalkan the values itu nggak sama, ya mending nggak usah, karena you're gonna go through di perjalanan startup ini banyak banget suka dukanya kan, banyak banget tangisannya. So you have to be sure that they will be there and really support one another. That's number one. Kedua ya, it's about complementary skill set. Jadi kalau dilihat antara Moses dan kedua co-founder yang lainnya, yang dua itu orang IT. Jadi mereka benar-benar strong di technical. Moses sendiri ada beberapa IT background-nya, tapi lebih business consulting, so strong on the business side. Tapi kan juga mereka perlu seseorang yang mungkin ya, so to speak, a little bit more local. I've been obviously working in Indonesia untuk selama 7-10 tahun. I understand the market. ada networknya juga. So I think again that's complementary. Jadi kalau misalkan sebagai co-founder itu ingin mencari partner lainnya, ya mungkin juga harus be honest, what are your strong suit, weakness-nya di mana. Coba cari orang lain yang complementary, bukan yang skill set-nya sama. Kalau sama ya percuma, you're not adding anything. Banyak orang nyangka startup itu dimulai, ada satu ide, terus wow sampai sukses. Jangan wedded to the idea, try to think about what you want to solve for customers. Kita tuh nanya, tapi kita nggak ngedengerin. That was my very, very first failure. It was a horrible disaster. It's the yeses in the world that get you to succeed.
Hi guys, don't forget to follow us on our social media and stay tuned for our upcoming practical knowledge videos only at Impact Talk.